Okay guys, we're going to be using charcoal today to draw and shade accurately a pear. So to start with, I've got my charcoal stick, and we're going to do a step that's called toning our paper. When you tone your paper, you're just putting a little bit of value onto your paper to start with. It kind of gives you a base to work from. So very lightly, kind of circular motion, coming up the side of my charcoal on here. Notice that the paper that we're using today has got a little bit of texture to it. This kind of helps your paper grab the charcoal so that it doesn't slide around. So textured paper is much better for working with charcoal and chalk pastel than say a smooth paper would be. Now I'm going to take a tissue next, and again a soft circular motion. I'm just going to blend this out. And this should give you a really nice soft light value to work with when we're starting off here. Okay, once I've got my value placed, next I'm going to go ahead and sketch in my object. Now again, we're going to be drawing a pear today. So I'm just going to use a stencil to help me place that. Really lightly go around the side of this. And I'm also going to go ahead and place in a horizon line as well. Now, it's important when you place your horizon, you don't want it to be right underneath your object, because that's going to make it look like your object is sort of floating in space. So we have to place that so it kind of goes through our object here. Now I've got my pear, I've got my horizon, so this would be the sky and the ground. One more detail I'd like to add to my pear, I'm going to put a stem in here. So come right about here, towards the front of your pear, right in the center, in a little curved shape. Right about there should do it. I'm going to go ahead and make that pretty dark, and then blend with my finger. One key about working with charcoal is blending. It's very soft, so it's easy to blend. It's also going to get all over your hands, but that's okay. Tap any extra you have off on your scrap paper, and now we can begin the shading. So for this exercise, I'm going to pretend like I've got a light source in the top right corner. So I'm just going to draw like an imaginary light bulb here, and pretend like that's shining light down this way, which means that the top and the right side of my pear is going to be the lightest area. My dark shadows are going to be here on the left and the bottom. So we're going to start by following the contour of your pear. That means following the shape of it. And we're just going to place some of this really dark value in. Another good thing about charcoal is it's very dark. You can get these really dark values pretty easily. So I can just follow the shape of my pear, putting those contours in. Notice how I bring it on around. Okay, the top and the right is dark, the bottom and the left. Excuse me, the top and the right is light, and the bottom and the left is dark. Once I've got a pretty good core shadow, that's the darkest part of my object place, I'm going to go ahead and start blending that. It's such a nice soft look to it. When you're shading stuff realistically, you really don't want any hard lines. And we can go ahead and bring this value on over. It's going to help us create some of our midtones. So again, I'm kind of following the shape of that pear and my object here. I'm using my finger. You could also use a tissue for this, but do be aware if you use a tissue that it will bring up more of your charcoal. We could also use a blending stump for this, and it would do about the same thing. Now the key is for a smooth look. You want a real real smooth texture here. No sharp lines between your values. But we can see how I'm going from dark to mid-tone. Just going to go ahead and bring that all the way over here. Also going to kind of run my finger along that initial line that we traced, just to soften that up a little bit, give it a little blur. If you notice a lot of dust on my paper, again, I'm just going to tap that here on the side. Not better. Okay, I'm just going to soften up the edges a little bit. Now my Pear is already looking pretty decent with my values. But if I really want to make it pop, what we're going to have to do next is add in a highlight. So we're actually going to switch to using our eraser here. Now your eraser is going to get pretty dirty with the charcoal. If it does, just kind of scrub it on your scratch paper here, and that'll help pull that off and make it clean. Okay? Now again, my highlights are going to be on the top right. This is where my light source is. So I'm just going to take my eraser and kind of comb along this edge here. And because I put some value down in my toning step, the first step there, this white's really going to show up well. Let's go ahead and bring some of that down just a little bit into the center. And I'm also going to blend that because I don't want a sharp line again. I want this to be a nice, soft, gradual change. You might have to work it a little bit till you get it where you need it. And if you feel like you got outside your lines a little bit, that's okay. Just take your tissue, come back in here, just sort of blend that back out. A little bit down here too. I'm going to erase just a little bit on my stem. So I've got a small highlight there too. Now another thing we need to talk about is when your light hits an object. Most of it's going to hit that first area, it's going to leave your highlight, but some of it's going to actually go around your object, hit the ground, and bounce back. This is what's called a reflected light, when light bounces back into the darkest side of our object. So I'm going to take my eraser here and very gently, I'm going to pull a little bit of value back up, right along the bottom edge there. I don't want that to be too bright, but just enough that we can see where some of this light has kind of bounced back up. Go ahead and smooth that back out with your finger. The other thing that our light will create when it hits our object, your object's going to cast a shadow on the ground. This is called our cast shadow. For cast shadow, I'm going to look at the direction of my light, which is this way. So I know that my cast shadow is going to come off to the left. I'm going to start right here at the bottom of my object. I'm just going to bring that out in a pretty straight line. Your shadow is going to be pretty flat. It goes right up here, right up against that reflected light that I made. Of course, your cast shadow is going to be the darkest right underneath your object. And then as it gets further away, that shadow will also lighten up. So you can just blend that out with your finger. And like doing a cast shadow just kind of helps ground your object here, make it look like it's sitting on a surface. We've got a pretty decent Pear here. I'm going to take next my charcoal pencil, which looks like this. This has got a little bit of a harder charcoal to it, so it's pretty good for doing details. And I'm just going to come back in and make sure that my stem is nice and neat. You can really see that. And just a little bit of value right around it too. And then maybe the edge on the dark side of my Pear. Again, we don't want to do too much of this because we don't want really hard outlines. for our objects when we're shading realistically, so just a little bit in some areas would be enough just to kind of define that object. So we've got a pretty decent range of values here. Our object looks pretty rounded. We've got our highlights and our shadows. The last step we're going to do here to really make this pop is we're going to add a little extra tone to the bottom, and that's going to kind of differentiate the bottom where the ground is and the top where our sky would be. So just like in my first step, I'm going to add some more value here. Be careful not to actually go on top of your pear. You want to leave that alone. It should just be around it. And again, take your tissue. Soft, circular motions. And that'll give you a nice dark ground there. Really help make your pear pop. Just a little nice extra step to add. Okay, and the last step you're going to want to do is just check your pear, see if we need to go back in and fix any little details here. I'm actually going to use my charcoal pencil to redefine the edge of this. It's got a little too blurry there when I added my tone. Might bring my reflected light back up just a touch. And I'm going to darken my cast shadow one more time. This really helps define that. And that should be it for your pear.